Yeah, Deployed Love's been great because when we got to the social and the coffee chats, my kids, it was their identity as well as mine. Like we were
Mhm.
going to Deployed Love, and that was all you had to say. It didn't matter what the event was, but it was like, oh, and this person will be there, and that mom will be there, and the baby, and I can play with that. And it was like, yeah,
Mhm.
our community, this is our community. And we'd be like, yeah, every Wednesday we go to coffee. And
Yep.
they knew, they were like, okay, we'll get up and we'll be ready to go, and we can go see our friends. And it was great for them. And then I could sit and have a coffee and they were not up my butt and they would go sit on the
Mhm.
couch and they'd read the books from the coffee shop and it was always something we all looked forward to and it was just like to have that identity of like this is
But,
my
like, it's a
community.
family, like, we created a family.
2019 is when we established as a nonprofit, which is a whole process, so like a lot of work, and then in 2020 is when we really kind of kicked it off, but we switched over to, like you were saying, this more of a community aspect.
Mhm.
Partially because we had families at the events that were like really connecting with us. We would go to these events, especially some of the ones that we had, the really, really old ones we'd had at the park. And the families would stay at the park with us for hours afterwards and they would play and everybody would just sit around and talk. And we had like food that was delivered and stuff. And so it was really, really fun to just sit and have this community. And we're like, man, I wish we had this all year.
Yep.
And so then we had kind of like talked about it, but then 2020 happened with COVID. And we were like, this is what people need though. They need to be able to connect. So that's why we had a lot of those weird programs that don't really exist anymore,
Yep.
but they were ways for us to connect. And we just kind of sat down from there and we're like, yeah, when we can come back, we need to come back as like a full community, not just the holiday minis, because people needed it. They needed the community.
When you have these programs like Deployed Love, like, it's not just important for kids, but it's important for the spouses and the other members of the family. Like, if having that connection and being able to connect and make friends. I mean, we all became really good friends through Deployed Love because we were like, we needed something extra in our life. We wanted to give back to the military community as spouses because we knew how hard life was growing up in it or being a spouse, new young spouse. But then in return, like, we were able to like form a relationship. I mean, I'm in Virginia, Ashley's in Georgia, and Sabrina's in Germany, and we still have this like friendship that we can just chat on, like, just jump on and just kind of like pick up where things left off, which is amazing. And I think that's really important to have as a military spouse. I actually found out about Deployed Love during a rapid activation where some of our volunteer photographers were like, oh no, like, we need to do something special for these families. And they were, because we didn't know how long they were going to be gone or anything like that. So we had some of our photographers, and Allison was actually my photographer, one of our photographers who've been with us for years. And she did photos for us to send to Jeremy. We didn't end up getting a chance to send it to him because he ended up coming back really fast. But the rest of the group were gone for a really long time because of COVID. But my husband came back really quickly because they were supposed to go do a training cycle type of thing. And then obviously COVID just messed everything up. We all know that. And so that was when I kind of found out about Deployed Love, and I was just like, where has this been? And like,
It's so cute to hear that story because I remember me and Ashley having the like discussions with the photographers, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, we want to do this." So it's like been the different steps because I met Ashley Mercado at one of the when she was in the
yep,
holiday mini photos.
yep.
I was just hosting it a long time back, so it's like, and then people come and then they join, and then it becomes more of the family just keeps continuing to grow,
Yeah.
which is so cool.
And that's where a lot of our coordinators and some of our other staff members have been families that have come to events who are just like, I love this. I want to give back to the military community. I want to be a support system. I want to be a resource. And that's, what's great about it is that you have military spouses out there who know that there's a need. There's a need to have a safe space, a need to have someone who's in your corner, because not everyone has that.
I think the thing for me though with Deploy Love, the biggest thing I think that sets us apart are the coordinators, because it helps empower like so many spouses and just people in general to become doers in the community. So it's like you get to plan, you get to organize events, you get to step outside of your comfort zone and do all the things that you see as a need in the community might not be there, or build upon something else that already is there. So it's like there might be so many other organizations out there and so many different resources, but none of them are like, hey, guess what? You get to become the doer and you get to do all the things that you feel in your heart that might be beneficial to you as a family, you as a spouse, you as a military family, and you get to like let that shine no matter where you're at. So I think like all of our coordinators they're like such doers, and like they really want to like built this place.
The biggest thing, right, is like that we are all military spouses or were, right? And so that's where I think that comes the difference. Like the USO will host events, ACS hosts events, but people don't go to that stuff because it's so commercial, right? Like it's all this, you may go to it, but it is an organization and it's not really like they're here to make a community with you and like communicate and talk to you.
That's one of the reasons why I love having our program too, because we're giving an opportunity for spouses who want to get out and do something for the military community, but also like this helps build their resume. Like they may not be able to enter the workforce because they have small children at home or whatever the case is. And this is, even though it's a volunteer-based position, it provides them with some work experience that if they want to go back to work in the future, not only is this something that they get to do with their heart, that they get to give back to people that they want to, we're helping them build skills, networking skills, program planning, all these different things that they can utilize and put on a resume, say down the road when they want to go back into the workforce. And that's one of the best things. I mean, one of my biggest things that I try to like talk to people about when they come in to volunteer is that this can be beneficial to you. Like this isn't just a get you out of the house type of thing. One of the reasons why I joined Deployed Love at the very beginning was because even though I had a job, I was working full time for the family business. It wasn't something I wanted to do. Like I just felt like I was just going through the motions every day, and I needed something that was going to make me feel like myself again. And I wanted to be able to provide support in a way that not only filled other people's buckets, but filled mine up and gave me like my identity back, because I was struggling so hard. This is what makes me happy. This is what's making me feel like a person and not a shell of a person at home, because I'm just going through the motions of everyday life. And like, it's been 4 years, and no matter how hard it's gotten or how hard it gets or how many hurdles we've had to go over, because we've gone through a lot of hurdles. We're a business and we have a lot of things that we have to accomplish, and I still wouldn't trade it for the world. Like no matter what happens, like this is like who I am. And I feel like Sabrina will say that too. Like this is, first off, it was her baby. Like she's the one that like made it into the foundation that it is today. And I think that speaks volumes of the program. Like even if like you get through a different season in life, this organization is so amazing, and all the people involved, no matter who they are, coordinators, staff team, our past coordinators and team members, they've all had a huge role in who we are and where we've been, because then that's when we get to really connect with the families that have been a part of our bigger programs, whether it's mini sessions, our Purple Up events, whatever it is. And they genuinely love what we do. They're like, this is amazing. You made me feel so loved, which is where Deployed Love comes from. We are not just for deployed families. I should put that out there, that we are for any military affiliated person. So, whether you're a spouse, a mom, a sister, a brother, we can help you connect to other resources, but at the same time, just be a listening ear community. We have our online community, which is really great. We have the podcast. We have several branches that have coordinators. We're always looking for volunteers, and it's really great. Like even in the hard times, it's still worth.
It's beautiful to think. Like you think about if you were to look and like write down every name of the like volunteer people within our organization since the very beginning. I mean, you're talking photographers, people who just came to holiday minis. We're talking like people that came to the Purple Up events just to help. Like our community, like the different organizations who have come out and done balloon arches or popcorn. Like Deployed Love has this huge family around it. Huge family, and there's just so many people that, even if they don't volunteer now, they still love Deployed Love. They still like comment on our things. I remember I can see faces and people that like we've had from holiday minis years ago. Like they still are interacting. And now the podcast has been really fun because we have this new family, like especially on TikTok. I was talking today to a couple of girls on there, and I'm like, this is crazy that like these people are listening, and they're like, oh, this is like, I'd like to help with this, or here's this. And it's like, it's growing in different ways too. And so Deployed Love is just this huge thing compared to what it feels like every day, because every day it just seems like it's a few of us that are volunteering and like running things. But if you were to sit down and like write down all those names, it would be hundreds and hundreds of people that have like supported the mission.
We all cry at every mini. Like, I don't think none of us have walked away from a mini where we haven't gotten teary-eyed or had a moment where we were like in our feels hugging another mom or another spouse, because it is hard, especially in the holiday seasons, which is why we started the holiday mini. Like the holiday minis came out because we know how hard it can be during the holiday season without your service member there. And so, and we just want to give back love and support, which is why our holiday minis are super big. We're all across the country. We're, Alaska, Colorado, Nevada, Liberty, Georgia, like we're everywhere. And so it's really great to see not only what they do with us, but what they also do in their community. Because not only are volunteers do things with us, but they also volunteer in other capacities for the military community. And they're true leaders. And you don't have to be someone who's well connected to be a part of an organization. Like if you are just wanting to learn more about the military community, more about community and connection and all that kind of stuff, like it's a great place to start, because you're going to have us veteran spouses who are here who tell you, we have new spouses who are newer to the military life, who have a little bit more of a different view, because our military experience is very different from current military spouses' experience. Even if you're not at one of our bases, like, we're always looking to bring on new bases. We're always looking to bring people on our staff team, whether it's helping with social media, finding grants, sponsorships, fundraising, all those different things. Like we can always use individuals, no matter where you are, to help us with that. And what's great about us is like we're across the country. We're not just at one location. And so, and it's one of those things where we constantly change.
If I think about the people that I've met through Deployed Love, it would make me cry, because like I've had friends where I've driven to other states with them to see their grandma before she died. Like that was huge. Like, and we never would have known each other without Deployed Love. And that was just like this huge moment where like, wow, you became a sister. Like you're not my friend anymore. We're military sisters. And like that, there's just so many of you guys, the two of you, like just listening to you guys, because like this is just like this tiny mission, and then to see like you guys have joined, and then it's grown and it just continues to grow. It makes my heart so happy. It makes me so happy.
I do feel like whether it's the connections we have or the connections that the friends that we've made through families that have come in, we've connected some way or another, and we've built that relationship and we've bloomed, and it's truly an amazing experience. And I want this, and I hope that other families want that as well, and they come out and check out what we're doing through, whether it's a social event or the minis, or they meet us at a deployment brief and they're just stop by and chat, or whatever it is. Like we truly have some amazing people. And I love it.
I hope like when it comes down, like especially if you're listening to this, is that we're not an organization in that sense. We're not this corporate big thing. Like we are you. Like we are you. We all were you. That's how we became what we are. Like we just connected on what we needed with each other, and we became that community for each other. I think that you see the big name of Deployed Love and it's just like, oh, it's another USO, it's another thing, but it's not. We are you, and we're all volunteers. It's been volunteers for years. I mean, since the very, very beginning, it's only ever been volunteers, and we just do it to have friends. We do it the same reason you're coming to our events is the reason we're there. And that's the same with our coordinators. They're not there because it's their job. They're there because they want to make friends. So they're genuinely hosting things that they want to be involved with. They want to be there with you. They want to make friends to make everybody's life easier.
We're deploying love. Like we're here to love, connect, grow. And so it's not just for deployed families. It is for anybody, no matter what cycle you are on your military journey. We are here to provide support, whether like you're new, you're veteran, you are prior service turned spouse, you are a family member, whatever you are, there is a spot and a space for you within our organization, whether you are just there behind the scenes, cheering us on, or you're coming to our events, or you want to volunteer. There is a home for you, and we're here to continue to build that relationship and not only give you love, but provide love to other families. And I think that's genuinely like the essence of who we are. Like we are here to do all those things, but we're giving ourselves love, and in return we're giving you love. And I think that's like, you're not going to find that at a big organization type of thing. There are other organizations, smaller ones, that kind of do that, provide the support, but I genuinely think we're one of the only organizations out there who truly genuinely want to build relationships.
There has to be a need because people are applying every time we put out like these postings, like, we're looking for coordinators or looking for somebody to help us. There's always like the inbox that within like 24 hours, there were so many like applications coming in.
When you volunteer for us, like, we are going to utilize those talents. Like, if you are an amazing artist, like, awesome, let's do an art like class or something. Or if you're a bartender, do a bartender class. Or it really doesn't matter. Like, that's what's great about our programs is it's like it's so different. It varies every month on like what we do and what we don't do. That, and then also you can learn new skills, which is great too. Like on top of that, but that was like where all those came in, because there was like one of our family members was just like, hey, Deployed Love is a great organization. They're always looking for people. I know that they're actually looking for coordinators right now because the current coordinators are transitioning into PCSing or a new cycle of new season of life. Some of them will just be volunteers, some will be coordinators. But that's what's really amazing about that is like we will find a spot for you depending on how much you want to put into the program. Like if you want to commit full time and do all the things, or if you're just like, hey, like I can only commit to like helping out day of event. Like I can't help with planning or anything like that, but I can be there in person. And that's great because we can always use people like that to talk with families, connect, things like that. And there's always a spot for anyone in the organization, and just family.
I think what's cool about the coordinator position is you're not just filling a position that already exists. You are creating your own. Like you get to be you and you get to choose how that is.
Yep.
If you only volunteer and do a half-hour event once a month, that's great. If all you can commit to is the holiday minis and that's what you want to really make it a big deal, then that's great too. Like if you want to have coffees every day, then by all means, like you're filling your own position.
Yeah. And so like the only requirements to be a coordinator, like the required events are the holiday minis and a Purple Up event and another mini session, which a lot of our coordinators did it with the Purple Up event. So it's 2 only required events during the entire year, truly. And then like Sabrina was just saying, you can really make it your own.
At the end of the day, Deploy Love is here because we can't do this thing called military life by ourselves. So we need somebody in our right next to us, to the left, to the right of us. And it just makes life so much easier. And like Ashley was talking about, asking for help or taking the help when it's offered. Like this is us like reaching out to you like, hey, we are here to help you and you can also help us, like one team, one fight type of thing. And ultimately that is who we are as Deploy Love, is making sure that we're supportive and supporting others as much as we can.
We are a baby nonprofit. So, we do a lot of our stuff comes just out of the love of our own pockets, our, love of figuring out how to do things at a very low budget. And I think that's really, really great. And this also says a lot about our coordinators on how like crafty and thrifty they can be. And I think that's just a trait of military spouses anyways. Like we get things done no matter how hard they can be. And I think that having into a program is really great because you can see what we can do with very little, and we can do a lot.